Hey, this is Peter Rosenberger, and I want to talk to you about my podcast. My podcast takes clips from my radio show that I do every week on 1510 WLAC, part of the iHeartMedia family. I do a show for caregivers. Now, why do we need a show for caregivers? Well, let me tell you something. There are 65 million Americans out there who are currently caring for a vulnerable loved one, whether it's an aging parent or whether it's a disabled child or, in my case, a disabled spouse. I've been taking care of for 3 decades. And so, if you're putting yourself between a vulnerable loved one and disaster every day, who's helping you? And what does that help look like? Maybe you're just so eat up with frustration and guilt and resentment, obligation. Maybe you're just scared to death. Maybe you are just tired and you need an extra hand, or maybe you need to know what the next piece of technology is, or whatever. There's so many different things out there that we as caregivers discuss and deal with in our daily life. And it takes someone who knows that to address those issues. And that's what I do. Now, I don't usually do my whole show in one long podcast. I do it in clips by topics so that you're able to just go right out there and search by topic just in time. Maybe you're having just a meltdown at 2 in the morning. Been there, done that. Still do it sometimes. And I need to be able to find something that's going to speak to what I'm dealing with right at that moment. The reason I do the show, the reason I do the podcast, the reason I wrote the book, the reason I speak on this, I'm speaking to myself. I need to hear these things too. This is part of my ongoing life. And I want to reach out to my fellow caregivers and let them know that it's a lonely road, but you're not alone. And we can pull together and strengthen each other. So get involved with the podcast, whether it's through funding it or subscribing to it, sharing it with a friend, getting the book, going out to the parent company that my wife and I started called Standing with Hope. It's a nonprofit. This is part of an outreach of that. Whatever works for you. I just wanted to make sure you know that as a caregiver, you're not alone. That this is a hard thing that you're doing, but I can help. And I look forward to seeing you on the show. Oh, I just thought of something else. I do a YouTube channel also called the Caregiver Channel, and I do this whole Caregiver in the Car series where I just talk about things in the car as I'm driving around. And it could be, who knows what it is, whatever pops into my mind. We're very mobile people, we caregivers are, and we're always running. So I try to do things that are helpful as I just drive around town and run my errands and do my normal routine here. So I'll see you on the Caregiver Channel, on this podcast, on the radio, maybe even to an event near you. Thanks so much. And this is the end of the tape. There's no more. I'm done. Cut it out. Stop. Oh,